So should we get back to the begging for email?
Yes, let's go ahead.
All right. Well, since we talked to Tommy Paris, we were in the middle of begging for email.
Okay.
I was reading Richard Hayden's email about his love for Dokken.
Yeah.
And there's more stuff following here, so this isn't the only email, believe me.
Back to you, Dick.
Yeah, back to you, Richard. So I hope Richard had a good time at the Dokken show tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, his friends bought him tickets to the Dokken show back in 2000. They waited in the car because his friend was underage. So Richard went into the Dokken show. He got to see the band while his friends waited in the parking lot. So anyway, as the show continued, Richard was in the audience, just like our good friend Rockin' Randy. He was screaming out Don's name. And finally, we made eye contact. I lifted up my sleeve and showed him the tattoo. He knelt down and he grabbed my arm and said, "Bro, that's fucking awesome." And he shook my hand.
Right.
I've just met God in my mind. He met God.
Wow.
And was smiling like a little schoolgirl. So when the show ended, I didn't have time to stick around and get an autograph or anything. But I did catch a drumstick from Mick. So I had to get out of there because Mike and JoJo had been waiting in the car for 8 hours.
Wow.
And I'm sure they wanted to go home. They probably had to pee. And JoJo's
8 hours.
JoJo started feeling shitty.
Yeah.
That was my last Dokken experience, and I felt it was rushed in because as a lifelong Dokken fan and supporter of the classic metal show, I asked Wendell and Chris. That's you and I.
Yes.
If he can throw me a bone as to how I can meet Don this Saturday, that was tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the sound guy doesn't fuck up because Don will be in a bad mood.
Yeah, pal.
How much have we driven that point home that the sound guy is always fucking up?
Yep.
And I'm nervous because because I'm nervous about that, but please help me and my idol for 5 minutes so I can get a few pictures and some memorabilia signed. I will forever be in your debt.
All right.
So I made that happen for Rich. As far as I know, according to Chris, he got to meet Don and the boys.
I believe that is a true statement, sir.
All right.
Well, congratulations there, Dick. You made it.
I feel like a Make-A-Wish guy. I made your wishes come true.
Right. How come we're not doing a Make-A-Wish for Tim James?
Yeah, really.
That fucker's as handicapped as they get.
Sure. So, Rich got to meet his heroes tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Another email came in.
Okay.
This one comes from I don't know who this is from Bob. I don't know who Bob is.
Hello, Bob.
Begging for email.
Okay.
Hi, Neely and Chris. I'm Bob from Southport, England.
Hello, Bob.
Isn't that interesting how people from all over the world just email us?
Well, that's good. I like it. Worldwide.
Yep. He says he's a longtime listener of the podcast for 10 years.
Damn. That was a long time.
I have a question regarding the playing of music on your show, or more about the other podcasts that have music-based shows.
Okay.
Will they have to start a talk show, and if they want to continue, or do they have to pay the fees?
Okay.
And more to the point, do you think that the Rockin' Pod Expo has highlighted just how many podcasts are out there playing music for free and yet taking money from one source or another, even if it's not a, even if it's not a lot. Okay, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
It seems like over the last couple of years that so many have started all playing music. Comments, please. Thanks, Bob, Hail and Kill, fuck you, pal, and fuck Fraley.
Wow, fuck Fraley.
Yes. I think he's an anti-Jackal fan.
That's a Thayer man.
Yeah, he's like, fuck Fraley.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I think for the sake of not having more hassle, I'm going to answer this one because I really don't want any more issues with the fucking Rock Pod Expo.
Yeah, because I started some shit, man.
All right. I don't even want to get into that.
Okay.
I'm going to answer this one.
Just gloss over it, man. Save my hide because they're going to chew me a new asshole.
No, I'm just going to, because I deal with everybody, I'm going to answer this one. As far as any other podcast out there, whether we know them or we don't, playing music, they are doing what they choose to do. Whether it's legal, whether it's illegal, is immaterial to us. We are making the choice to do our show legally within the confines of this fucking bullshit faggot fucking law. And the way that it is set up is that you're not supposed to play music. Now, I know a bunch of shows do play music. Some do it in a way that's a little bit fucking, I don't know, I don't want to say shady, but, you know, like talking metal. I'm not saying they're doing shady. Let me be clear on that. But they do a piece of a song.
Yeah, they do a portion of the song and they cut back out of it.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. That's just an editing nightmare for us. You know, would you want to do that?
No, of course not.
Play a minute of a fucking song?
No, not even a minute. It's like 30 seconds.
30 seconds, whatever.
No, and what difference does it make? How many people want to hear 30 seconds of a song?
Yeah, and potentially have a problem because of it. That doesn't make any sense for us. So we're not going to do that. As far as anything going on at Rock and Pod Expo, I think they got a lot of cool shit, actually. I wish I could go because I would like to meet Max Norman. If nothing else, I would like to meet Max Norman. But as far as the podcasters themselves, yeah, there's a lot of music podcasts out there. And whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. We can't control that shit. So we're not gonna try to.
Plus, it doesn't reflect on us at all because we're not part of a group.
Yeah, we're not part of a group. We're not part of, I can speak for me, and honestly, I think I can speak for both of us. You jump in if I'm wrong on this, but regardless of all the other people thinking that Neely fucking hates the podcast community, I don't believe that there is animosity between any of us. You know, I mean, I personally spearheaded the podcast fucking summit, which seemed to have been the genesis of the podcast expo. You know, that was me that put that together. And, you know, I'll just say it the way it is. That the segment in question was one time that me and you did not agree. Not that we agree on everything, but we didn't agree on that one. I clearly was more in the Bob Nalbandian camp with the sometimes you got to try something to do something to see how it comes together.
Right.
And you're not in that camp with this. And that's okay.
That's not necessarily the case. I just wanted to know what the focus was.
Right. Well, and that was taken as
anti
being a snob or whatever.
Yeah, anti.
Yeah, and I have told everybody that I didn't think that was the case. And at the same time, I've told everybody the honest truth, which was that, you know, I did not agree with the entire point of that. And that's neither here nor there. The only point was that we're not doing it. And that was a valid point that we both made. And I'll stand by my decision to not do it as well. I already had plans that weekend. You know, I have my Army buddy reunion that weekend, so I couldn't do it anyway. So that left it up to Neely, and Neely's the one that would have to be spending. What would you have to spend, $1,000?
Not quite that much, but, you know, within 1,000.
Yeah, for
plane tickets, hotel, all that shit. But it wasn't about the money for me.
But it was a decision that was made that it wasn't profitable to what you wanted to get from it.
Right.
That's fair?
I would agree.
And I think we've highlighted a million times, neither one of us are the most, hey, let's hang out guys. We are definitely not the, hey, let's everybody hang out together and, do that kind of shit. So the thought of, all right, well, now we're all in a room, that's not necessarily a win. And again, I'm not trying to start. If you listen to the show on Spreaker right now, I'm playing the commercial for the for the Podcast Expo. It plays on our station.
Right. And being that I pay for the Spreaker, I'm not saying take that off there immediately.
No, because we want it to succeed. I think I can speak for you in that, or I'll let you say it. You want it to succeed, right?
I hope it does.
Yeah, and I do too.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I feel about the podcast summit the same way that I felt about Live in Lima or Loud in Lima.
Right.
Same thing.
No.
It's not well thought out. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. And could be very wrong.
I could be wrong.
Could be very right.
I could be wrong.
We won't know until August 26th when it happens. And that is what that is. And we don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem with the podcasts. Don't necessarily like Michael Butler, but, the rest of them, Godspeed to all of them. I hope they do great. I hope none of them get zapped with this fucking ASCAP BMI bullshit. But if they do, then that's on them. They're making a choice to do what they're going to do. And we're making a choice only about what we're going to do. And that's the only consideration we're giving. I know everybody keeps bringing up this point about, well, I hear other that seems to be the basic point. I hear other people playing music, so why aren't you guys?
Yeah, because we can't speak for what other people do.
Yeah. We're going to do what we feel is in the best interest of the Classic Metal Show continuing.
Correct.
And believe me when I tell you, if we get zapped, that's the end of the Classic Metal Show.
That's it.
That is it. The minute that we get cited for some even if it's a $10,000 fine, we're done. We're just done. Because I'm not jeopardizing either one of my businesses for this fucking show. And you're not jeopardizing your future for this fucking show. That's just the way it is.
I agree.
It's something we do for fun. This is when Neely moved to Chicago, this became his and my way to hang out. Really? Don't you think?
For the most part, yeah.
It's a show, but at the same time, it's just me and you bullshitting.
Right.
So, please stop with the, what about this and what about that and this rule and that law, or what if you did? Believe us that we're doing everything we can to make the show still fucking awesome, including the parts that, are going to change. We talked long and hard about fucking changing it to actual commercials. You guys could have been sitting through 10 minutes of us saying, hey, check it out. We got new shirts available. Only $22.95 or whatever they cost. We could have done that. And commercials about my dumb books or whatever. We're not doing that. We're going to give you some music, some different type of shit. And the only thing I'm asking anybody to do is just don't fucking come off that it's automatically going to be shit. Because it's not. It's going to be, the tunes that we're going to play are going to be good. Period. If it's garbage music, we're not bringing it here. We're just not going to do it. Promise that. I can definitely promise you that. So that's all. I know I'm off on a tangent, but fuck.
Doesn't matter. Well, all I got to say about the whole what other people are doing, other people don't speak for us. We don't speak for other people.
Right.
But you tune in to hear us. It's never about the music. Never has been. Mm-hmm. Never has been.
Well, maybe 15, 18 years ago.
Yeah, but those people were no longer listening anyway.
Right, yeah. I mean, since 2006,
Yeah,
this has been what we've been doing.
exactly.
And this is what people have been tuning in to listen to. So, deal with it. That's what we're doing.
That's it. All right, well, getting back to the begging for email.
All right.
Something that we did last week. Sven wants to clear something up, or at least give his two cents worth.
All right, Sven, what you got?
He says, "Hail and kill, guys. I just heard the segment on a podcast and would have called in for the first time if I had listened live. I'm pretty sure those weren't regular Romanians." I think he's talking about Assimilate or Go Back Where You Came From, a segment that
people shitting in the
people shitting in the streets in California, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
All right, that's what he's making reference to. I am pretty sure those weren't regular Romanians, but rather what you would refer to as gypsies.
Okay.
A minority, not just in Romania, but all over Europe, mostly the South and East.
All right.
And go figure, they are not loved by other Romanians, not because of their race or any other BS, but because of their, drumroll please, their behavior.
What?
Yes, that's what he says. Like shitting everywhere, piling up trash, and being not law-abiding in general, i.e. stealing.
Oh, boy.
In Romania being part of the EU, fucking stupid idea in the first place.
Wow.
We have this problem now in Germany, and where they behave not much differently than they do in Pittsburgh. If you decide to live in another country, of course you can keep your traditions and whatever at home. Learn the language. Learn about the culture. Try to blend in, and if possible, enrich the society with your cultural background, that is Mexican food, etc. But for the rest of it, keep it to yourself. It is a private matter.
Amen, Sven.
Just my 2 cents. Hail and kill.
Thank you, Sven. Very well spoken.
Yep.
He assimilated to the show.
He did.
Nice work.
So there you are. Sven checking in.
All right. Thank you, Sven.
Now we got a voicemail.
Okay.
A voicemail, somebody checking in.
All right.
See what this is going to be about.
Hail and kill, gentlemen. It's T-Man here, and a lot of things on my mind.
All right. Toby from Turkey.
T-Man.
T-Man. Now, see, that just gives me shivers because of that stupid movie that I brought up a few weeks ago with Jack Black.
Okay.
Where he wanted to be known as the D-Man, and everybody says, nobody knew you as the D-Man in high school. Now he's the T-Man.
He's the T-Man.
All right, Toby, let's see what the many things on your mind are.
Right.
I'll try and keep it brief. These matters pertain to the world of metal, women, and of the political spheres. So no odes, no poems, and no muses.
All right, so his love for Kendall seems to have waned a bit.
All right, well,
because he was obsessed with Kendall.
Well, it happens. They come in, they fade out.
All right, so now he's going to focus in on metal music and society in general.
All right, good.
First of all, the new singer of Quiet Riot has come to my attention. He seems like an enterprising young man with a whole life ahead of him.
He's an enterprising young man?
With a whole life ahead of him.
Yeah.
Unless he's Chester Bennington, like.
Unless he's working with Frankie Banali.
Yeah. He's going to have a short career, but hopefully a long life.
Right, exactly.
Even 30. And he's had a solo release with significantly higher sales than anything Bret Michaels did back in the 90s. So kudos to him.
What was that?
There's probably an American Idol record.
Back in the 90s?
No, he said bigger than anything Bret Michaels has done in the 90s.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. All right.
That's probably true.
Problem for the band, as I see it, is that their latest single, Wasted, actually sounds like Dr. Feelgood. And
did you get that vibe?
I don't know. We'll have to try it. Wasted and Dr. Feelgood?
Yeah, he said the album Wasted sounds like Dr. Feelgood.
Not the album, the song, the single. I think he's talking single to single.
Okay, so he thinks that the single sounds like Dr. Feelgood?
Yeah. It's probably on Spotify.
All right, we'll see. Okay, let's see.
The new singer comes across as a gender-neutral hybrid of Vince Neil and Brian Moloko of Placebo.
Gender-neutral Vince Neil. So what do you think that this Durbin guy, he's kind of like, like a android or a...
Queer?
Caitlyn Jenner?
Is queer bad?
I don't know. Okay.
In other words, I'm not buying it. Literally and figuratively. I might steal it off Pirate Bay. Fair warning, FBI, but I won't keep it either. Straight into the delete box. Now,
all right, so he's getting this new Quiet Riot off of Pirate Bay.
Oh. And still not keeping it.
Yeah, he's still trashing it.
Right.
The other point, Kid Rock, bar with the what the fuck man, is going into politics. We've had Hollywood actors, a former husband of Cher, WWF wrestlers, Jesse Ventura, now Kane, and now we've got Kid Rock, this is all part of this whole sugar fix culture, the quick high, short half-life, in through the main entrance, out through the side door. And I will say, this does not bode well for your country.
This is what I'm always interested in.
Yeah.
These are friends, you know, from different parts of the world.
Sure.
They're so caught up in what's going on here in this country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's the Prime Minister of England?
See, I don't know that answer. So I'm not caught up with what's going on in Australia or England or Germany or anything.
Yeah.
But yet these
world leader?
Angela Merkel.
Oh yeah, that fucking cunt in Germany.
See, there you knew, because she just fucked things up so bad over there. It's just like it's hard not to know who she is.
Yeah, because she's like the queen of the Muzzy uprising.
You know what the thing is that Dawn came on the show over a year ago, and talked about how horrible it was.
Yeah,
that was over a year ago. That was a year ago, January. Believe it or not.
Well, maybe it's cleaned up since then.
No, it hasn't. It's made it worse.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding. I just assumed Don caught it at the bad period as it was upticking.
No, but he gave us his honest opinion from what he saw, traveling around the country over there.
Right.
But, in fairness, in merry old England, we've had people from sports and television go into politics as well. And it's not dumbing down, it's already being dumbed down. It's having been dumbed down that allows these half-wits into positions of power. Now, finally, I'm going to air a grievance to one Ms. Rose W. of Brighton. This is in the
Who's Rose Brighton who's Rose W. of Brighton?
You know Rose W. Somebody that he has a grievance with, clearly.
Okay.
Let's see what his grievance is.
Who has still not returned my tribute to Ace Frehley CD 18 years after the fact. The fact being, when I had my protuberance lodged between her breasts, which had long nipples, and between her buttocks in the shower. I'm slut-shaming her because she did not return the goods. So, if anyone perchance falls prey to a 43-year-old snub-nosed, red-headed harlot and she and Judas Priest or tribute CDs, you are to kick her out of the house right away. Inspect her thoroughly as she's getting dressed, and don't be tempted to put the kettle on or offer to make her a cup of tea, because she's probably lining her knickers with your favorite LA Guns inlay. That be it for me.
Holy shit. So some chick stiffed him years ago, and she's still got his CDs. I want my fucking records back.
He's mad now.
Give me my records back.
What did he call his dick? His protuberance?
Yes.
Can't say I know
Be
that
good,
word.
Be vigilant, in the words of Big Jacko from No Remorse, and hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job.
Wow.
Make the world great again.
Exactly.
Thank you, Toby.
Yeah, he's on the Trump wagon there.
Thank you, T-Train.
Yeah. T-Man.
T-Man, sorry.
Yeah, he's T-Man.
T-Man. Thank you, T-Man.
Yeah, so there you go, Toby checking in.
As long as he's not being teabagged.
Right.
Well, thank you, Tobe.
Yes.
It's quite the call.
See, everybody's got these issues that they want to air out here on the CMS.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
It's like I got some things I need to say.
Damn, no kidding. It's dumb show. What the fuck is going on with this show?
Yeah. And then one last one. We got a quick one from Eddie.
All right.
He says, next Saturday, can we each send a request for a song to play for one last time?
You want to do that?
No. It's like, you got Pandora, you got Spotify, you got your personal CD collection. Just because Uncontrolled Noise can't legally play licensed music anymore, it doesn't mean you can never hear that song ever again.
Yeah. Good point.
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Dig into your Spotify or whatever music outlets you look. Just because we can't play it here on the show anymore legally doesn't mean you'll never hear it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm never gonna hear that song again. Someone left the cake out in the rain.
Dude, but I'll never hear Night Demon on your show.
Right.
Stop it.
Because it's important.
Just stop it.
God damn it. Life is so unfair, god damn it. Why am I being punished like this?
Why don't we just play like one song? We'll just pick one song that we can play legally and just play it over and over.
Yeah.
Jeez.
My life is a misery.
Oh, man, the show is going to suck,
It stinks, man.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how people don't care about that shit until they can't have it anymore, and then all of a sudden now it becomes priority?
It's such a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Oh, my God.
How am I going to live?
The world is over.
You guys can't play my favorite tunes anymore.
Yeah, man.
It's over.
Yeah. I mean, we're still going to do, like, segments where we fuck with music, aren't we?
Sure we are.
Of course.
And then, we do have the bootleg stuff. It may not be the official recording, but we're going to play familiar stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe we end up not even needing that because we get so much good stuff from fucking bands that haven't gotten signed.
You never know.
There's so many bands out there right now that can't get signed because there's no labels left.
True.
So we might end up with a lot of good shit. And, I continue to point to a band like Red Rain. We found them, or you found them, when they were Seth. And people have liked it since they were Seth.
That's true.
And they're still not signed. Are they? They're not signed,
No,
right?
they're not signed.
Yeah,
They're out there as an independent artist opening up for Tesla.
Yeah, and that's pretty good fucking music.
I agree.
And that's what we're going to keep looking for. Those kind of bands. Give them some exposure they wouldn't otherwise get.
Yeah, because we're a huge force in the industry.
Well, you know what? Honestly, we probably jump right into the fucking top level of fucking, promoting unsigned music. Just because fucking, we're probably the biggest at what we do as far as downloads, and now this music's going to be the focus.
Yeah.
So whatever, who cares?
Yeah, fuck them guys.
I don't even care. I'm excited about fucking
sure
getting rid of the same old tunes that we always play and playing a bunch of new shit. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about having to edit all these fucking songs, but now that I've done 100 of them or whatever, it's starting to, get a little easier.
Right. All right, well, I'm going to grab a drink, and then we're going to wrap up the show. We got under an hour left. I got a few things to get to, a few stories, which I think people will get the ha-has out of.
Cool. Can I pick a song? Or
you can pick a song.
All right. Do you have... I'm going to go with the shit that we don't have to play for 2 weeks. Do you have, and you probably have it in your regular collection anyway, do you have Kim Mitchell?
Okay.
See if you have that on the hard drive.
Kim Mitchell. Yes, what are you looking for?
The 1982 bootleg.
Okay, well, what are you looking for?
Lager and Ale.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. What we got here?
It's probably like track 2 or 3.
The only thing I got is that, let's see.
Coffee Break Concert?
Let me see what I have here. I'm going to open up the file location. And this was from something called Kimbo Alongo.
That's not it. That's the only thing you have?
I think so.
What the flying fuck? I'll email it to you.
All right.
Play something and then play this song.
Well, I'm going to play... I had Death Angel lined up.
All right.
I kind of had this song in my head.
Where do you want it? To CMS Neely or to the other one?
To the request.
Request. All right.
And I'm going to play something I know that both you and I both like.
What's that?
I'm going to play A Room with a View.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. All right. Well, we're going to play a couple songs. We'll come back. Get your racist shit going. Get your memes ready.
All right.
We got some
drive loaded.
We got some silly. Get the end drive up and running. Because we got some silly shit coming your way. So here it is. This is Death Angel with A Room with a View, exclusively here
on your classic metal show.